Princeton University Press Audio presents The Preacher's Wife, The Precarious Power of Evangelical Women Celebrities by Kate Bowler. Read by Kelly Burke. For Dad, who dusted me off and sent me back up the mountain after I fell all the way down. A personal note. In my experience, evangelical girls learn the limits of their own spiritual authority as an accounting of small details, little moments of encouragement or discouragement that nudge them toward a sense of being acceptable. I doubt that my own encounter with these expectations was terribly unusual, though few likely included a sit-down with a gentle giant named Merv in the mess hall of a Mennonite Bible camp. My attempts to understand just what my counselors meant by male headship led to, by camp standards, an infamous tete-a-tete. To the naked eye, it looked like a 14-year-old girl demanding that a kindly 30-something man account for what words like submission meant in the context of his marriage to the camp nurse. In what spheres of life must she ask for his permission? Was she allowed to make medical decisions without his say-so? Was it possible that she possessed special spiritual gifts that did not require his oversight? Those are the only questions I remember asking at the time, but I spent the next 3 summers learning the complicated math involved in assigning male and female roles in the bare liturgical world of campfires and sing-alongs. Only men preached at nightly gatherings, baptized the occasional staff member, and served communion for Parents' Day. I have photographic evidence that even the 15-year-old boy in the novelty t-shirt with a naked Homer Simpson on the back, a boy who would one day be my husband, would be permitted this sacred office. Women sang the songs, prayed most of the time, shared stories, led Bible studies before mixed audiences, and spoke informally from the pulpit. They taught any camp skill, from water skiing to rock climbing to crafts, but if they were assigned maintenance duty, they were never allowed to drive the truck to the dump, which had the added bonus of seeing the bears eat garbage. I was very disappointed about the bears, and about being relegated to picking up sticks when the teenage boys were given chainsaws to clear the brush. Nevertheless, my Mennonite Bible camp was the touchstone of my adolescent spirituality, and I found it difficult to stay angry. I left camp that final summer with some loud declarations about how I would come back as a speaker and be a Lady James Dobson, having glimpsed stacks of James Dobson's Focus on the Family magazines in the bathrooms of Baptist homes. A decade later, when I received my Ph.D., I knew for a variety of reasons that I would never be a camp speaker or a Lady James Dobson. However, my first act of theological service would be to return to rural Manitoba to answer the camp's need for someone to revise their morning Bible studies. In a calculus that only evangelicals can understand, I would never be allowed to preach from their wooden pulpit in the chapel, but I could speak directly to the entire camp daily on theological matters, as long as I wrote down what I said. Writing history is one of those things that evangelical women are allowed to do, and, for as long as I can remember, it suited me completely. I relished the opportunity to transform questions like, "Why is that man on television preaching about money?" into long, satisfying years of research and writing. I wrote the first comprehensive history of the American prosperity gospel in my early 30s, and then, in hopes of achieving tenure at Duke University, I began working on a new book centered on the questions I once had as a camper. How do women learn their spiritual roles? What parts are they allowed to play? I began to travel the country to attend the largest Christian conferences, which, I had already learned, were almost exclusively led by wildly charismatic women drawn from evangelical and Pentecostal Protestant traditions. Their lives seemed loud and public, buoyed
Sample complete. Ready to continue?